show so we can talk about a lot of what Crystal just mentioned about recycling dollars in the community, whether it's Black community, Latino community. Let's talk about it. Call us right now.
Yeah, so we want to talk about we need to take care. We need to take back our communities,
Yes.
and we need to create economic empowerment in our communities so that the things that are going on in our communities at least will cease and desist. But that's not going to happen until we start creating money and bringing money in and working collaboratively between the Black and the brown, working together to build a strong community. We're living here. We have our children in schools here. We need to make sure that we have a showing and that we have great businesses and businesses that can service everyone in our community.
Well, you know what's amazing, Crystal?
What?
We're talking about all these different groups, the different minority and small groups. But think about this for a second. Latinos in California occupy about 39% of the population, right?
Yes.
And Blacks occupy 12%. Mm-hmm. You put those two numbers together, we're at 51%.
I know.
That means we are the majority.
Yeah, that does mean that, doesn't it?
So if we put our resources, if we pool our resources together and try to work together and use this as a position of strength,
yes.
Imagine how far and how powerful we can be.
Oh, we'd be really, really powerful.
This is tremendous.
That's why there's always that break to keep that from happening. But as the show is going to be about today, it's going to be about money, money, money. Where is the money, and how do we use the money? Because really, what it comes down to is the color of green.
That's right.
And
that's the only color that matters.
That is the only color that matters, and so that's what we need us all to be positioning ourselves so our businesses are making money, the color of green, and that we're prosperous and we're creating legacies in our community. We're being able to make demands and keep our politicians accountable, and have great schools for our children, and we can leave our businesses and we don't have to work so hard in our businesses just trying to scrape it together. So that's what we're talking about today.
And I just want to keep emphasizing this, Crystal, that we could talk about making money and we can do a lot of different things, but if we don't know how to manage our own money, then someone else is going to manage it for us.
So very true.
He who knows how to count his own money gets to keep it.
Yeah, there you go.
If you don't know how to count your own money, believe me, the IRS will be counting it for you. Mm-hmm. Your CPA, your accountant, and all those people who have no good intentions for your business, they'll be counting it for you, and they'll be taking their share. So small businesses, entrepreneurs, I want you to learn how to count your money, and that's what we do. Crystal runs a workshop on bookkeeping and payroll and accounting. So those are things that I really, really want all of you to tap into here. Tap into our resources so we can help you to count your money.
And, it's funny because this past week, the taxes for Donald Trump was released, right? And I was watching a YouTube video, and Mark Cuban was saying, it was interesting that that he claimed a loss of $900 and something billion dollars, just under
$906 million,
which is just at $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
But Mark was saying when he started counting the money, he was saying there was no way because he didn't have that kind of wealth. Right now they're saying that his net worth is about $156 million. That's a little short of some millions in order to have lost 900. So he was talking about the legal tax loops that are there with what do they call them? Insurance programs that were being offered at the time that took place, and other kind of loss prevention that they could use as a write-off, but not necessarily did he have the money. So those are what happens with the big boys. The big boys play that kind of game.
They learn how to count their own money.
Right. And so it's like last week when we had Kim Folsom on the show, she was saying when we start a business, $1 million business.
Yeah.
We're not starting a $100,000 business.
Yeah.
We're starting $1 million business, and we're working our way up to that process, right? So that is what we have to start doing. We have to rethink how we do business and why we do business. And then, but when we start our businesses, we need to be thinking of our businesses on those levels.
Well, you know what, Crystal? One of the things that I think is really critical and important that many of our small businesses don't think about is, one, they really don't know how to do this. You know, they want to do it, but they really don't know how. I see you have 3 pointers here that you want to present in terms of how wealth is being destroyed in the community. So you want to discuss these for a little bit and let us
actually,
go over
this is what our guest is going to talk about when he taps in. Is he here?
Well,
no picture.
Well, actually, what we could do, we could give our version of this based on what we know in business. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we could go over this because I think these are 3 critical points that small businesses really need to understand and recognize. So one of the key things that destroys wealth, Crystal,
is ignorance or lack of knowledge. Yeah, lack of knowledge is a big thing.
Ignorance. So the thing about it is, we don't know what we don't know. And we need to surround ourselves with people who at least understand something, who can tell us a little something. Now, ignorance is, here's an example of ignorance within small businesses: not knowing your numbers, not knowing your finances, not knowing your ratios, not knowing how you calculate certain things. How do you come up with a valuation for your business? How do you do that?
Right.
And if you don't know it, are you seeking it out? Are you trying to learn how to do that? Because your business may be worth a lot more than you actually think it's worth, because there's so many factors involved.
Exactly. And they don't know that. They don't know that. I mean, if you happen to have intellectual property, that becomes part of your net worth, because that has value to it. But a lot of people don't know that. And so those are the things that when you have a coach, and when you go to workshops and classes, and you're looking for those type of how do I manage my finances and how do I create wealth in my business? So you go, even if you can't leave your businesses, like Candace was saying last week, that she's working, so it's hard. But today, workshops and webinars come to you. All you have to do is turn your computer on. So, as an entrepreneur, you're working 24/7 anyway. I know I am.
Yep.
So, I mean, if I can't get it done in the daytime, then that means that at nighttime, that's when I take time out, and I too. And I don't know about you, but I too partake in webinars that are offering me new ways of doing my business and keeping and staying on top of technology, because that's a deal breaker right now if you don't know how to do that. But also understanding what are the new disruptive ways of raising money for your business, or the new disruptive ways, or even creating additional revenue streams in your business. Because a lot of businesses, if you started out one way, let's say you've been in business for the last 10, 15 years. Well, the way you did business 5 years ago, the way you did business 10 years ago, 2 years ago for that matter, is totally different.
Exactly.
So the way you were acquiring revenue when you first started your business is probably very different than the way that, especially service-based businesses. Retail, you whatever the trends are, so you're staying on top of the trends. But for service-based businesses, you got to stay in tune. You got to stay on top of stuff, because
that is true.
And when one avenue is not working, you need to know, okay, what do I need to do now in order to generate new business? And if that requires some more education or collaborating with other individuals, then that's what it takes in order to continually create profitable streams of income.
What's amazing is we define wealth in a lot of different ways. A lot of people think having a lot of money is wealth. And I just want to go over one quick definition here, which says wealth is the abundance of valuable resources, or it could be valuable material possessions, that creates assets and puts you in a strategic position wherein your capacity provides leverage for you. So you can access those assets that you need whenever you need it.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
And then the other side of that as well is when you're making money in your business, you don't have to go look for money.
That's right.
Because people with money come
That's
to
what
look
I'm
into you to
talking
want to
about.
invest in your business, right?
You've got value.
You have value. You've created, and now they're looking for you. They're seeking you out because they see your traction. They see that you're making a stamp or disruptive type of movement in the business world, and they want to be a part of that. So they come looking for you as opposed to you begging for them to come to you. So this morning we were having that conversation when I was at the networking breakfast that I attended, and they were saying we have to reposition our small businesses or our underserved businesses have to reposition ourselves. So the banks are coming to us saying, hey, we want to give you some money.
That's right.
Right.
And that's exactly how we should do that.
Yeah.
See, for too long now, we've been going and knocking on people's door and say, hey, can you let us in? Mm-hmm. We want to start building that house that they come knocking on our doors going, can we come in?
Right. Can we come in?
And then we make that decision who we want to let in.
Exactly. Because you might not want to do business with them.
That's what I'm talking about.
But you don't want to be in a position where you have to do business with them.
That's what I'm talking about. So if we build our capacity and we build our base, that puts us on the track leading towards wealth, then when we get to that position wherein we now solidify, which takes us to our next point in how we have a negative perception of how wealth is supposed to be. We're talking now about abundance of collaboration.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Lack of collaboration affects our ability to generate wealth.
It really does, because if you're working together, and I mean, an example of that is Gilbert and I. We have a collaboration. We work in a couple arenas now that we have the BusinessZone. But prior to that, we work a contract out at Mount Sac. I'm sure there's some other things. We're working with Small Biz Pro together. I also have he collaborates with other entities in the industry out here in the business world. Yeah. Hispanic chambers of commerce. He collaborates with them. I collaborate with Los Angeles Urban League, Recycling Black Dollars, my business. I'm always adding collaborative partners to the picture, because here's the thing. My whole concept of premise for collaboration is that you can make a bigger impact.
Oh, yes.
It's hard to make an impact when it's just you. You feel hopeless and frustrated after a while you're trying to chase down every different angle. But if you bring on collaborative partners, you work your area, they work their area, and you're working together.
Yes. So much easier. And while you're collaborating, you're building your capacity. That means now, if you had $1 million of bonding or $1 million of insurance, and you collaborate with someone else with another $1 million, now that puts you up $2 million right there. So those are the types of things I want you small businesses to think about. And if you don't know how to do it, you reach out to us. Reach out to Crystal.
Right.
Reach out to myself. Our number here in the studio is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. And remember, we're on the Business Zone. That's what we do. The Business Zone. That means you're in a zone where we're going to teach you about business principles, practice, and strategies that will help you small businesses elevate your game, elevate your capacity. That's what we're all about.
Exactly. And then we're bringing in our cohorts that they can also share their wisdom and tips of business, because they've been in the business arena. Pretty much everyone that we've brought on the show have been in the business more, 15, 20, 30 years in their capacities doing what they do. So this is a wonderful opportunity for those businesses. And I hear it. We hear you. We hear you. Like you don't have all the components, right? You know what you do. You're in business because of whatever it is you do, but there are so many other components to it. So,
and the third part, Crystal, the third part of what destroys wealth that we want to touch on is the fact that many businesses are impatient.
Yes, they are. They are impatient.
They want it now. So therefore, because they really want it now, they don't spend the time in building their foundation. They don't build that infrastructure that's required.
Right.
Now, I have this formula that says preparation plus opportunity equals success.
Yes.
Preparation plus opportunity, that equals success. So many small businesses, in order to reach out and grab success, you need to prepare.
Yes, you do.
You need to generate mastery in your field, in your space.
Yeah, you do. You have to, right, you have to, and it takes time. I mean, even my business, I've been in business for 20 plus years, 25 plus years, and it's evolved and reshaped and redirected itself. I mean, the core of what I do is there. But, now I'm more focused on training than I was on actually applying the applications for other people.
And you understand patience.
As I understand patience, and I also understand that businesses are cyclical, and that there are some times that you have some low ebbs and some high ebbs, even in a service-based business.
And you're going to stumble sometimes. You're going to stumble a few times. As a matter of fact, you're going to stumble a lot.
You're going to stumble a lot. Businesses.
So you got to have that energy and ability to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, look at what caused you to stumble, and said, okay, this will never happen to me again. So you prevent that event that really caused you to stumble. So you really don't want to fail. And that's really what this is all about.
But here's what I found with stumbling and even failing in businesses is those are good things.
It's a learning experience. That's why you don't want it to happen again.
Right. And so you learn why. What you should be doing is analyzing why it did or why you failed or what we may call a failure. It also helps you redirect, because you get to, if you really take time out and look at it for what it really was, then you understand that, oh man, wait, if I had not have done it that way, so now I'm not going to quit. I'm going to go back and I'm going to readdress it in a different way, and I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to seek out someone that has experience in this particular area, and then I'm going to come back. And here's the other thing. Okay, mentors and having mentors and coaches they help you with your direction. And I believe we have a call. Is this hi? Who's calling, please?
Hey, this is Dr. Wright. I'm just on hold.
Oh, hi, Dr. Wright. We are just working out all of the beginning, the preliminaries on setting up the show for you. And do we have our other caller? Did he come in?
Hello, Dr. Wright. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for being on our show. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. So we're going to just do a little switch up for a minute. Since Dr. Wright's on the call, we're going to introduce her. Dr. Wright is an expert in crowdfunding. So as we know, all our businesses need an infusion of cash. And so she's going to help us